Who's a fat boy?
Podcast Fatboy.
The return of Podcast Fatboy. Don't you just love that theme? It's just too funny to not play. Hi, everyone. It's been literally years since I did this podcast, and I'm not ashamed of that. I had some issues with it. It's really tormented me all these years. It was my first podcast. I was learning about producing, how to record. I was learning all on the go, and I was putting a little too much pressure on this pod. And I think what I need to do is, I don't like, when I start something, I like to complete it. So with this, I've retooled it a little bit. I am back, but I've made it a lot easier on myself. I think what went wrong the last time, guys, is that this podcast is about me. This is about me. I'm trying to make it humorous and fun, but I'm trying to get to some place. And it takes a lot of work to do that. So having to worry about guests, and I was trying to update content and stuff on the website that I know nobody's going to read, wasting hours updating stuff. And Podbean is such a terrible interface for that kind of stuff. So I just got worn the fuck out. And I switched over. I started producing a basketball podcast with two of my friends, Freddie Rivas and Kevin Dowse. It's called Confederacy of Dunks. We do it still. We've been going for over 2 years now. If you like the Toronto Raptors, you like NBA, these guys know their shit. It's a great podcast. Go to dunkspodcast.com or on iTunes and all that stuff. Okay? It's my shout out for that. That's what I've been doing podcast-wise the last couple of years. I did a little bit of stuff with the Comedy Bar podcast. I was producing that for a while, but that stopped. That's what happens with podcasts. If you're not making money from it, after a while, people will stop. People are busy. They got other shit that makes them money, and they're going to go to that. And it just, the air gets let out of the tires and the pump ain't there, folks. But not Podcast Fatboy. I'm fucking giving it my all here. And you know what that means, that I'm not trying very hard. But I am looking to make some adjustments. So I'm not going to be, the health podcast thing, it's going to be a little bit more of a rant about a lot of things. The health stuff, we are at the start of an apocalypse now with Trump. He's doing some wonderful things every day, reversing shit. So, a lot of reasons to eat more and stuff myself into a coma. But I'm not going to let that bother me too much. This is more than ever time to exercise. Keep your positivity up and flowing. I made it really easy on myself because I'm producing Confederacy of Dunks. I've invested in a lot of equipment over the years, and I can set up my mixer. I can plug in all kinds of mics and stuff. We have tons of guests on the pod, but for this pod, because I have such a terrible time and it haunts me and I procrastinate with it, I went fucking old-fashioned here, folks. I got a mic to plug into my iPhone. A Zoom mic. Very affordable, by the way, if you want to do it. Very affordable. Got it off Amazon. Came in 2 days. And that's how I'm mainly going to do this. If I have some guests on, I'll set up my mics and call them in or bring them in or whatever. But most of the time, it's going to be me ranting about shit like this. I'm in my bed right now. I'm in my bed a lot. Okay, and I like being in my bed. I've been binge watching The Sopranos. Not my first time revisiting it. I watched it all just before James Gandolfini died. So it was as soon as I was done, he died, and I was like, fuck. But now watching it this time, I gotta say, I'm just watching him eat gabagool and stuff, and I'm like, Jimmy, no, stop, get the spit bucket. You have a spit bucket on set. When I do commercials for fast food, you don't eat that shit. You spit it out, but he's, gabagool going in. Not good for your heart, that shit. Really trying to lower my gabagool intake myself. Might have like a lean turkey or something every once in a while, but cold cuts are out, man. Too salty, too fucked up. You just got to, fucking eat a lot better. So, anyways, that's what I think went wrong with the podcast before. I just think, I was trying to be like my Mark Maron a little too much. Like I was recording with a guest and then I'd have to record again later and do an intro for it. And it was just like, I couldn't decide on when to release them. And, I apologized to some of my guests like Steph Tolev and, like Adam Colley. I feel like there was a little bit too much of a delay from the time we recorded. But, I'm better with that shit now. Confederacy of Dunks, we record. I have it edited, ready to go 5 a.m. the next day. I don't get up at 5 a.m. You can just schedule it. But there's no waiting around. And that's what you got to do with podcasts. You don't want to sit on stuff. I understand why Mark Maron does it, because he interviews celebrities at weird times. He goes to their homes and, he kind of has a stockpile of them where, that's just how you got to do it. And he makes a shitload of money doing it. So, yeah, he knows what he's fucking doing. Anyway, this is kind of what I'm going to do differently. I got rid of the Podbean site. So podcastfatboy.com does not work right now, folks. If you've been clicking it, wanting to listen to some of the old things, they're not exactly there. I didn't want to pay for Podbean anymore, so I moved to. I'm going the free way. There's a free way to do it, folks. If you want to start a podcast, you can do it for free. But it's tricky. It's tricky when you're trying to get it on iTunes and stuff. That's where I'm stuck at now. But all the old episodes are on podcastfatboy.wordpress.com right now. I think I'll change over the domain name. It's still active, just, not attached to anything. But if you want to listen to the old episodes, you can. I can't listen to them, so I don't know why you would. But they're there. Because it is a part of the journey. It really is. And, right off from episode 1, I made it way too hard on myself. Like, what am I going to do? The fucking elimination diet? I can't do that. My girlfriend's doing it right now. She's doing a fantastic job. She's 2.5 weeks into a 4-week elimination diet. It is fucking hell. No caffeine, no carbs. Oh man, it's crazy. It is a crazy diet. She's doing great. Proud of you, babe. But that's essentially, in a lot of ways, what I was trying to do when I started the last podcast. And, Alex Schwartz, an old friend from elementary school who's a PhD, he's still doing his PhD, folks. I think he's still trying to get that sucker. He's also in bands and stuff. I haven't talked to him really. I haven't seen him since we recorded that episode almost 3 years ago. But he's a good guy, and he's doing a lot, trying to understand how to curb obesity on the molecular level, I would imagine. So I'm going to try and get Alex back in for a talk again at some point. I'm not going to make him my personal trainer or anything like I was, having him do that. But, just see where he's at. That'd be kind of fun. So, yeah, it's... I'm on Internet Archive. That's what I'm using to host now, which is hilarious too, because I uploaded these episodes a long time ago, and just to get them, when I was shutting down Podbean. And I recently, when I went over, I saw that some group added my podcast to this group called Crate Digging, and it's essentially, this is what it says. Crate digging is the art of finding the obscure, forgotten, or lost audio recordings that experienced low volume production or no volume production, just being made by hand. So I don't know if that means that they somehow found my podcast and listened to an episode and liked it, or they're just literally going through the garbage and sniffing stuff. And it doesn't really matter. They're just hoarders. And if you want to go through a big garbage dump of podcasts, then maybe you'll stumble upon mine and like it. Thanks, Crate Digging. Hopefully, my goal is to get out of crate digging and become something less obscure, not forgotten. Ridiculous. Anyway, you guys are probably wondering, okay, when I was doing the podcast last time, I was telling you my weight. I think my apex at that time was 216. That was as much as heavy as I got. And just to let you know that I've added another 10 on that. So that's where I am now. I think that's as high as I can really go. I mean, obviously I could be 1,000 pounds, but mentally, I don't think I can go much more than 226 pounds. I don't feel that overweight because I have started exercising, and I think there's muscle and fat, and they're trying to live together in a wobbly cathedral of meat and cheese. if that's how I can describe my body to you, meat and cheese wobbly cathedral. Anyway, there are things that I have done in the last couple of years to improve my health, and not everything is running and doing more exercise, because that's really hard for me. It's really hard to do exercise, especially to go to a gym. I still have every 3 months, every once in a while, I'll get the membership at the rec center, and little things just turn me off about that place, because it's like I go there, like say half a year ago, and the place looks like, I don't know if you played the game The Last of Us, but it's like you're in a goddamn apocalypse den, and there's water dripping from the lights and buckets and everything. It was a fucking mess. And shit like that turns me off when I know I maybe could get electrocuted trying to be healthier. That really pisses me off. Excuse me. So I said, fuck that. And, I take, that's why I like doing the 3-month membership. Because, after the 3 months, if I'm not in my gym mode, then I'm not paying for it, right? So anyways, I did renew my membership. It looks way better down there. Annette Rec Center, what up? I don't know if that's John Tory or what is helping that rec center. But let me tell you, during the Rob Ford years, it was a fucking crack den. So I'm trying to go back there. The other thing I'm doing is I'm playing ball hockey. I'm in a ball hockey league. I've been doing that for since the fall. Every game I play, I hate myself because I'm like not good at it anymore. And I'm quite obviously the weakest player on the team, which is all due to my stamina, which really sucks. It's like I'm on a quarter of a lung out there. But it's, we're always short. We're playing with guys that some guys you're playing against are like ex fucking, minor league pros. You can just tell. It's like, fuck you. I grew up in Aurora. I know you fuckers. You at least played junior A. But, it's co-ed. You play against girls, and the girls are really good too. It's just like, oh man, you don't get any room out there. I need to be in a league with people, amputees or something, like that. And they're not allowed to use prosthetics. They have to just walk on stumps. That's the kind of league I need. But I'm having fun. My friend Aaron is on it, and we're having at least I'm getting exercise. I'm sweating like a bastard, and I have that moment every game where I hate myself for letting me get this out of shape, but at the end of the day, I get home and I feel pretty good that I exercised, and that makes me want to exercise more. So yeah, it's good to do sports. Go there. There's cheap shit you can do, man. You can join a dodgeball league. Fuck, there's trampoline parks. You can just go jump up and down like a fucking idiot. That's what you got to do. So that's kind of like where my exercise is right now. But some of the changes, as I was saying before, the changes that I've made in the last few years, I think I'm pretty proud of it. Okay, one of them is that at my day job, I work at a standing desk now. My girlfriend and her father built it for me last Christmas a year ago. And I had a makeshift one before that, but it's been about a year and a half now at a standing desk, and I've got an anti-fatigue mat underneath the stand on. And, it was an adjustment at first, and it fucking hurt my back like you wouldn't believe, but then you get used to it, and it's like I can't sit down. I can't sit down again. It's I'm not letting this job kill me any more than it is. I finally have glasses now because of it. Yeah, so I got the standing desk, and I definitely recommend it. I recommend that you try it. At least a couple times a week, because they're, sitting's the new smoking. With that accent, I'd like to switch over to something else I've done. I've cut out sugar in coffee. Now, this is the only New Year's resolution I've ever stuck to, and I don't know if it's been 2 years or 3 years, but it's been at least 2 years that I've had. I don't put sugar in coffee anymore. I used to put, I used to have doubles. Can I get double, please? So now I just put in some cream or some milk, and sugar is the real poison. And I've really learned this more now, that sugar is so fucking bad for you. It is way worse than salt. It's the shit that makes you fat. It's like, you buy low fat shit and it's still chocked with sugar, which means it does fuck all. You really gotta lower the sugar. Now, the next thing I'm gonna say is not lowering the sugar, but yeah, I like to drink. I'm a drinker. I don't drink every day. If you go to a doctor and tell them how much I drink, I went to see a new doctor, and she's like, "How much you drink?" And I'm like, on weekends, I might have. She's like, "Do you have more than 4 drinks? Do you have more than 4 drinks on the weekend?" And I'm like, "Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes I have like 10 or 15 drinks." She's like, "Oh yeah, we should probably check your enzymes on your liver." I'm like, "Come on." I'm like, I'm not drinking that every day. It's like, yes, I guess if you drink more than 4 drinks, that's called binge drinking. Okay, so that's what the term for binge drinking is now, 4 drinks. And if you have 3 drinks a day, you're an alcoholic. That I do not. I did pound it last Saturday, and I paid the price on Sunday. I'm 32 years old now. Can't deal with that shit anymore. So yeah, I can't drink every day. I just can't do it. So anyways, what I have done to make drinking a little bit healthier for myself is I'm a huge rye and Diet Coke drinker. I love it. I just love a rye and Diet. But, I went to a naturopath, and hearing all the other horrible shit I have over the years, you really shouldn't be drinking Diet Coke. It's also Diet Pop is it's really bad for weight gain. So when I went to the naturopath, so like, if you're gonna have pop, I'd rather you just have Coke. Just go for the sugar and cut it if you can. And that's what I do. So if I have a Ryan Coke, I will, but I will use soda water. I'll soda water, and I'll give it a little splash of the Coke, and that's a lot better. Like, I'll have 3 or 4 drinks, and I still got pop in the can. You know what I'm saying? So that's not like a proud healthy change I've made, but that's one thing. And yeah, I think I covered everything there. That's pretty much it. Trying to have more green shakes, stuff like that. Trying to funnel vegetables into my body, because it's so hard in this society to want to cook or anything. I hate cooking. I've realized that I am turning into that old man who needs his partner to cook for him. Like, I'm pathetic. And that's something I'm dealing with. I'd love to get the cooking bug, and I've thought of all these different ways to cook, and what's my niche for cooking? Like this fucking Anova thing. What the fuck is that thing? I keep seeing ads for it online. I'm like, what? Is this some kind of bullshit? Like, it's like this dildo looking thing that you stick in a pot, and then you put your whatever meat you want in a Ziploc bag, and you just boil it. And apparently it makes all your fucking meats and eggs or whatever you want. You set the temperature, you control it with your phone. Apparently it's pretty amazing according to those ads. I think I saw one friend that does have it. I should ask him how it is, because is this really where we're going? Where we're so fucking bored with cooking that we're putting shit in plastic bags and boiling it like that gross vegetarian like fake beef in the bag. I think you'll remember that from episode 3, Hold the Beef. You talked to Andrew Gardner, he fucking mentioned that. So that's where we're going. We're boiling shit in plastic shitty Ziploc bags now. Trying to get the restaurant perfection. They have this video that they play showing like how perfect they can make poached eggs, and it makes me want to fucking barf because like it's like a montage of them cutting open like a soft poached egg, and I don't know why, it just makes me really sick. I love poached eggs, I love runny eggs, but it's like something's too real about that. I don't like how it's so perfect. Sometimes I like having fucked up eggs. One thing I don't like about poached eggs is when people put vinegar in it. It's like, keeps it all together or whatever. I don't like it because I can always taste the vinegar. And I don't really like that weird taste with my eggs. So, you know what? I just go for it when I make poached eggs. That's another thing. Like, I pretty much just make poached eggs if I'm eating eggs. Rarely fry eggs anymore or order fried eggs. I really haven't had bacon in a long time either. God, I love bacon. Anyway, this is kind of like, what fucking podcast Fatboy is now. It's just me fucking tugging a crank and having a good time. You know, like these episodes aren't all going to be super long. It's going to be kind of my ranty-tanty kind of thing. The last thing I will mention today is Bell Let's Talk. Bell Let's Talk. So it's like once a year, Bell promotes the shit out of their company to promote mental health, and I see the positive in that, and I think it's good. I'm someone who's mentally ill. I suffer from panic attacks and anxiety, have been medicated for it. Definitely have waves of depression that I stubbornly do not want to medicate. I don't like antidepressants. I don't want to talk about it. So today's the Bell Let's Talk day where a lot of people are being brave and talking about how, like how shitty they feel. And a lot of people are on the fence about it because, it's a big fucking corporation that at the end of the day it's a big ad for Bell. And they do it once a year. Like, why can't they do it once a month or something? Like, people are pissed that it's like, you're not talking about it every day. It's just like, it's obviously a campaign. And I understand that. And I do agree with that too. And I don't know if you are a Bell customer, but they don't give a fuck about you. Just try to upgrade your phone. It doesn't matter if you're with them for 30 years. They don't fucking care. And they don't fall for that shit anymore when you're like, I'm going to go to the other fucking competitor. They're like, fuck you. We don't give a fuck. Alexander Graham Bell, bitch. We've been here forever. So, I don't have a lot of love for Bell. I mean, I tried to be respectful. My stepbrother does work for Bell, and that's his job, and I don't want to fuck with that. But I don't know. I'm on the fence. For me, I don't like talking about my stuff, and I feel like I'm supposed to be talking about it because it's just the zeitgeist of this fucking day. I don't even know if that makes any sense. Who gives a shit? But yeah, I think I'm more open about what I suffer from. It's still funny to some of my family doesn't understand anxiety. Anytime that I have an anxiety attack around my mom, which happens a lot, the worst thing that someone can say to you is, I thought you were over that. That's what my mom said to me when I was having an attack. I thought you were over that. And she doesn't understand how that works. You're mentally ill and it doesn't just go away. It comes in waves. So, I don't know. I guess it's a good and bad thing. The Bell Let's Talk. I don't know. It's just, I feel weird about it. I do feel weird about it. I just wish it was a little bit more than, Nuit Blanche once a year. Scotia. Oh, I'm calling out Scotia now. Calling out the Bank of Nova Scotia. Is that Scotia Bank, right? Yeah. So yeah, this has been episode 8, back from the deadlift, guys. Back from the deadlift. Got a new title on this baby. I don't deadlift. I never fucking deadlift. I don't ever want to. It looks like everyone's gonna shit their pants when they deadlift. So I'm just gonna be doing my thing. I'm gonna try and get at a crate digging as best I can. Get this pod going again. I got to talk to my friend Andy and see how the fuck I can get this on iTunes again. Might be real fucking tricky since I've already been on iTunes with this podcast. So it's like, who the fuck knows, man? But you know what? I've actually had a pretty good time doing this. This has been a lot of fun. This is the first time I've had fun doing this podcast, I think, which is a good thing. It's a good thing because I really fucking like this. Fucking podcast tortured me, and the fact that I gave up on it pissed me off. So I'm glad I'm back. I'm going to be trying. I don't know exactly what day I'm going to aim for. Probably day after hockey. So I'm going to try and record these Wednesdays and get them out Thursdays. And yeah, just have a good old fucking rant about everything, about how, this. Sometimes it's going to be a little dark, but it's going to be fucking real. Don't worry about it, okay? Sorry, I'm watching a lot of Sopranos, as I said. Like, I'm fucking eating gabagool and watching Sopranos. Fucking Jimmy Gandolfini. I love you, baby. Yeah, watch your deadlifts. Make sure you have a spotter. And fucking Matty Dunks will be back next week. Maybe a pound lighter, maybe a pound heavier. Okay, bye.